Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. AR, why don't you say a few words so we can tell if they can hear you?
I just watched the promo video for the card rules video 5 minutes ago, and I am deeply affected, and I'm not sure I can do the show now.
That's a dirty lie, AR. It was 30 seconds ago.
It
De-
felt that. It felt like a long
Dev,
time.
say a few words.
I have a massive sinus infection and I'm just dying all around. So if at some point I just go silent or just screech in horror, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm in the midst of getting over being sick.
I have a bad back apparently. I've had a muscle ache for the last like 4 days.
Oh, I hate when it happens when you not necessarily getting out of bed, but like when you get that ache and then it's just kind of there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
been
no.
coming
Seriously,
in.
just go to a chiropractor. They are absolute sorcery.
It's it's close to chiropractor point, and I hate to say that because I've never been to one before.
It's really, really pretty much in and out, and it's like, oh my god, I'm not in a horrible pain, and
You're
everything feels slightly
free.
tingly.
We'll have the chat confirm they can hear all three of us, and then we will get started. Let's see. Close this. Make sure I actually have the right link up. Let's see here. I'm just happy that in that one promo image they finally fixed the misspelling of stage. It only took them like 2 months. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Welcome to the With podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run with the Will and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver, and I can't believe that in 2022 our YouTube thumbnail is freaking Tagir Akashi.
I'm DevQ and I'm dying.
That was the actual best thumbnail that Lost and myself could come up with.
That's a sad statement for where we are right now in the middle of this hiatus.
Oh no, there were other things. It's just the images just all kind of made us go, and or like they didn't fit in the template quite right. It's like that one just, wow, that fit perfectly. Like it looks like it belongs there, doesn't it?
It's a good image, and I'm kind of back on the Hunters, quiet support for Hunters, that weird little crappy series from 10 years ago, but yeah.
You're legally obligated to say it, AR. Emmy nominated
Emmy
Hunters.
nominated Digimon
Ah.
Hunters.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're still in the midst of our hiatus. We maybe have news. It's one of those weird coin flip things where maybe they know something, maybe they don't. So let us go ahead and start with, as we tend to recently, starting with Ghost Game, but instead of an episode, hey, that stage event happened.
It
Oh
certainly
yeah.
did.
They changed plans about a week before Akira Ishida was able to attend. So you had the whole main cast. They streamed it so anyone could watch it. And watching people try and figure out what it was funny because we knew exactly what it was going to be. And it was exactly that. And people thought it was going to be like some announcement stream or something. And that's
No,
not. This
no.
was literally this. They bring out the Gabumon mascot. He dances around a bit. They bring out the
I'm glad
cast.
I'm glad Gabamon's keeping himself busy during
Yeah,
the hiatus.
yeah. They brought out each cast member. They do the little intro thing. They all sit in chairs and they all tell vague stories. And then they show extended clips. And then they put random questions up on the screen behind everyone to answer. This is functionally when Try was running, and they would do the 25 to 30-minute segment in the middle of DigiFest where they just had everyone answer
Oh
questions.
yeah, and we learned nothing from that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that. And then at the end, they showed off artwork from Tenya Yabuno of Kano
Which is
Wisemon.
glorious.
Yeah,
It,
that's
it
cool.
it's
That's
really
cool.
great art. The only issue at all is I look at it, and I'm not the only person who said this. Plenty of people have. It just makes you go, "Wow, it's not Zeromaru and Taichi." Because like even looking at the wings, like you just see like, and it's his art style, to be fair, but when you look at it, just really
he
makes
didn't
you.
design Kana Weissman.
Are we sure of that? Because he designed Gamamon.
Oh, really?
As far as I know, he did.
Oh, I didn't know he was in the business of actually designing the Digimon.
Oh no! Well, remember, a lot of the characters in the franchise are actually designed by him.
Yes.
I thought it was mostly the humans.
No.
And V-Tamer had such a weird style for a lot of the Digimon.
Yeah, basically a lot of those were designed by him, and then designs were reverse engineered later. Yeah, so like I vaguely recall.
Kana Weissman's not chunky enough for.
Yeah. I vaguely even recall in an interview, I think he said something about Gamamon, like he basically went, "What if I was designing a tiny Zeromaru or something like that?" It's one of those things where you look at the design and you go, "Oh, okay, this makes sense."
Like it's baby.
It's
great art.
It's a dragon kind of Digimon that you can ride.
All the photos from the event, photos and video people are posting of the Gamamon on the show floor, talking with Goku and Piccolo. And yeah, it was just amusing. It was functionally exactly what we expected. I'm a little confused though, because right before the event they announced the third end theme to Ghost Game, which rough translation is those who are drawn to each other by hand. As far as I can tell, and the announcement mentions the song will be at the stage presentation, so either they played it off stream or something else was going on, because it wasn't on the stream. That was the one thing I kind of expected that wasn't there. So maybe they played it an introduction thing, or maybe just something changed, because who knows. And it's been announced that, hey, it will start in April, and the single will release April 27th. And I'm trying to decide, were these pre-written and they just didn't rewrite them? Is the show coming back, or are they just going to switch no matter what happens, even if it's repeats?
I would say my money would be on the last one. I'm not saying that Ghost Game won't be back by then, but I think that they have a schedule to keep with the release of the single.
Yeah.
So they're going to stick with that no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I would hope that Ghost Game.
Although I would very much like at some point in Ghost Game to get either an opening or an ending where it's not a group who has the band photo, the stereotypical band photo. Because every group has had that photo where they're all standing around looking in slightly different directions. One of them has a hat. One of them has his hand up under his chin. One's looking at a wall for some reason. Isn't that like the quintessential band photo?
It totally is. Yeah.
The only way it could be more of a band photo is if they were standing on a beach.
I was wondering if you were going to go to South Park with that.
South Park hit that one pretty
really
right, though, didn't it? Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah. And then, like, the first guy doesn't look like the guy who I assume is the lead doesn't look like he belongs in the group because his hair's done differently. And he looks older than everyone else.
It's just that vague, disinterested expression on
all
of their faces.
So we'll see if we get our first song that is actually great and I like the intro to Ghost Game. It just doesn't listen well if you keep going. But at least it's memorable. The end songs I barely remember, to be honest.
The second ending I kind of remember for not good reasons.
So let's hope we get a good one this time. And coin flip time. Is that Tenya Yabuno art from the ending?
You know what?
I hope not if they do it during repeats.
Because think about it. They've done it twice so far.
Yep.
Yeah. It absolutely could be. It'd just be really awkward for someone to do a repeat of episode 6 or whatever, and suddenly you get Kana Weissman showing up in an ending.
Yeah, so we will see. And then, following that up, weirdly, we get to jump back to the second one, which is the second end theme. Two members of BMK showed up on Digimon Classroom for a Vital Bracelet athletic meet, and they taught them to sing. And the only reason this
Okay.
confuses me at all, and I understand why it was done now, it feels like this would have made more sense when the ending was new-ish and not
Yeah,
three months at this
still in
point.
the promotional phase.
Well, no, it is in the promotional phase because the like 5 different singles came out last week.
Oh
Which is-
yeah.
So that's why. But
so
it
Yeah.
feel
Well, I thought we had the full version of that for a while, but I suppose
we did the
single's
digital
actually
single, I
coming
believe.
out.
Yeah, the actual CD, but it's where, remember, it's 4 different singles with slightly different songs in a few of them, and then a
Yes,
box
we went,
of them all.
yes, we went over that racket.
I haven't put any of them on order because I still have not had the energy to go, okay.
Don't support that kind of behavior.
I may order the Ghost Game one that has the art that we've already seen 1,000 fucking times.
I wouldn't waste the money.
Yeah.
If that doesn't have some sort of a foil thing of Angoramon dancing, it's not worth
To
your
be
money.
fair, it's not like I would buy it by itself. It would be an $8 add-on to a larger order. And then figures. So this is where
They are nice figures.
So this is where it gets weird. We saw these about, at this point, little less than a week and a half ago, as figures for China. They're slightly less nice gem figures, but significantly cheaper. And we saw Taichi and Agumon, Yamato and Gabumon, Takaru and Patamon, and Hikari and Tailmon. They looked nice. There wasn't price, the price was roughly about $30, and they're about. It's a bit hard with the height because the hair changes stuff. So the smallest one is 4.3 inches tall. The tallest is 5.9.
Taichi's hair causing problems as
Yes,
always.
yes, yeah. The Taichi one, I believe, is specifically the tallest one, I think. And they look nice, and it's one of those. Okay, I don't know if we'll get these or not, because normally you would assume no, but recently they've been trying to do the nicer Chinese figures and actually bring them over, like that the Adventure 2021 of Taichi and War Greymon that no one we know ordered because it was $1,000.
Yes,
yeah.
and also, like, dear God, it was gigantic, and also Taichi's face was kind of creepy.
Yeah, and because that one you could pre-order in the U.S. So it was a kind of a coin flip, and the coin flip landed on its side. Taichi and Hikari are available to order at Big Bad Toy Store and a few other places. The other two aren't, though, but $38 and out in April. Or August, sorry. I went ahead and pre-ordered
Kind of
those.
Like testing the waters
So
instead of just doing all of it at once.
I would assume that that's just a solicitation thing. Like maybe the other two aren't scheduled for the same time because we didn't have dates for China. So we assumed it was a like a foursome, but it may be 2 and then 2 a couple months later. Yeah, for just under $40, I went ahead and grabbed both of these. These look actually pretty nice. See, Dev, this could sit next to the giant Diablomon versus Omegamon. Did that ever show up, by the way?
No, I'm still fucking waiting.
Well, international shipping's problematic at the moment, so good luck with that.
Yeah, I keep occasionally getting little notices from Crunchyroll store. It's like blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really like how these look, to be honest. I would like to see all 8 kids get them, and then go ahead and keep going to other shows.
That's the dream.
Although I will say, the perspective on the bases kind of weird me out when I look at them carefully. Where you realize that they're almost meant to be looked at an angle with perspective. It's kind of weird, but I kind of like it. And then V Jump was very odd this month because I'm trying to decide if it was filler because of the hiatus or if this was just the plan, because it feels like there was filler, doesn't it?
I think it's half and half. I think part of it was the plan and part of it was let's hold back on.
Yeah, so we got a nice spread featuring the Wave 1 winners of the illustration contest. And Wave 2 we should be finding out basically right now, I think. Like, yeah, so we should be finding out who will actually get made into cards. All the art on these are really good. Are there any specific ones, though, that kind of like jump out to you?
I never really looked at the. I always get people in my Twitter feed saying I didn't win, so I always look at those and admire them, and I haven't. I've never actually looked at the winners.
Because they're all really fucking cool looking.
I have to say,
Yes, they are.
I really want that SD Patamon one to get a card.
That would be an amazing card to use in a competition.
Also, the Agumon one, the flat art
The-
one.
Yeah.
That one looks
Yeah,
amazing.
the weird looking ones would be fun to advance.
Yeah.
Also, like all of the Mugendramon ones are really badass looking, especially because all of them make really good use of perspective.
Yeah.
All of those would make really good cards, which is why I'm afraid those would win, and not one of the weird ones.
We'll see. I do have to agree, though, some of the weird ones are really nice. And are kind of things you look at and go, oh, the judges really were judging based on exactly what was on the list, not just, okay, this is the quote-unquote best. Because some of the artistic ones are really good, but probably you would not expect to win. Like, I want that fucking Patamon card. It's not necessarily the fanciest art of Patamon there, though.
Right.
But I want that. I love the two little Tokomons in the Digivice. But yeah, so that I'm looking forward to finding out. And then the card game Deluge begins. So from the new Star Decks, we got previews of Zubamon, the Journey of Master and Disciple. Raiji Ludomon looked pretty good, I have to admit. It has that sort of weird, like almost SD robot vibe.
Yes.
Where it worked really well.
He feels more like an Atmon than anything.
And then Sistermon Seal, who for some reason they've colored black. Seal.
Oh, okay. It took me a minute to see where you were going with that.
No, that was just the joke because when the card went up, you just had just an army of people whining about it. It's like at this point there is no they aren't gonna change their mind on a dime. They've decided that's what they're doing. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yelling at the Twitter account of the card game is not going to change that, especially the Japanese card game.
Right?
Yeah. They did make the art extra cute, which you would expect for Blanc, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a strangely cute noir.
Yeah. Then
and poor Hackmon looks like he's been murdered.
Yeah. Then Kodamon, Marimon got a preview. Then we got from a poster photo, Durandamon and Brywell Udramon. I have to be honest, I need to see the Brywell Udramon card clean before I can comment on it, because that card is way too busy to judge off a photo.
Yeah.
There's way too much happening there. Ragnalordmon, the Volcamon card looks amazing. This is the kind of great, silly nonsense card there needs to be more of.
That's what I expected from a Volcamon card.
Yeah. Zubagermon, Savior Hackmon, Chakuramon, he got a card and people got very happy. And also confused as to what level he was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That confused a few people. Tamer Battle Pack.
Confusing me right now, actually.
I know, like, people started like, wait, this isn't a baby card?
Yeah, that's not a baby, it's a level 3. Huh, yeah. Okay.
Then we get Tamer Battle Pack 11, which, am I wrong? Are they cycling through the same artists for these now? Like, when I look at the Leomon card, it has that slight pudding texture to it. I'm like, this looks familiar. Not the art, but like the style. It almost feels like we're seeing a lot of repeat artists for the battle packs now. And then the winners card. I'm getting kind of bored with the winners cards being like, I understand that's the point. But it kind of looks so disappointing when you get the nice art, you see it, and you see the exact same card, but with nondescript arrows.
I kind of like the original one better.
Yeah,
Has there been any that we've preferred the winner's card though? To be fair,
I
I
forget
honestly
what the
can't
winner's
think of
card
any.
looked like as soon as the
yeah,
segment's over.
that's what I mean. Um, then we got to see the clean images of the packaging after we saw less clean ones a few times.
It looks nice and dramatic.
It does. Although I believe the one that's labeled the one that shows black, I believe that's a red black deck, not just black. They just don't want to show it that way. So, okay. V Jump got 4 pages of card game stuff. This is where it feels like they did filler because
This is almost like filler.
yeah. And we
They have the enough cards to do it.
yeah. And then reprints of a few parallel tamer cards which will be in these starter decks. Interesting choices there, I will say. I mean, I understand why they picked those ones specifically. It's the throw in one for everyone type of deck, and I believe the effects are they identical or roughly the same? I think for the actual
I did
effect.
not
I
look
think
that close.
Yeah, didn't read them.
yeah. Then moving on to English card game stuff, a bunch of new promo cards from events, some of which have happened, some of which haven't. First, we get a lot. In Event Pack 2, we get a lot of alternate art cards, most of which are just existing cards with different backgrounds. A few new pieces of art, like I'm pretty sure that Bushi Agumon is new art. I don't think we've seen that before.
I feel like I'd remember that
Yeah.
because that's fun.
Yeah.
Not
Uh,
familiar.
then the actual prize ones are alternate art cards of Vmon, X-Vmon, Pale Dramon, Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode, Omnimon, and Imperial Dramon Paladin Mode. The Omnimon's weird because they gave this away at the Evolution Cup last year, and they've just renamed the Evolution Cup to the Ultimate Cup. But the name pun doesn't work in English because that isn't the level here.
Ah,
Because that's why it's called the Ultimate Cup, isn't it? It's the last level.
I
But that isn't the
didn't
last
think that
level in
hard
English.
about it.
And the art's very nice. The Kenji Watanabe XVmon one I particularly like. That art's so good. And the Paledramon one. And more of the framed promo cards. Is it clever, cheap, or both that 2 of them are color inversions of ones from last time?
cheap.
And Omegamon's new. Although the yellow does not look good in promo photos. Like I
It
assume
looks fucking horrible. Like you
so
can barely
so here's
read
the
it.
thing. Realistically, I assume on the actual card this could be like gold foil.
It better be.
Yeah. Well, if it's not, it's framed and it will be thrown on eBay.
That's the more likely result of it anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. Then let's talk about the China one first because then we get to go to the weird stuff. So less weird. Chinese version of the card game's coming out. They had a nice little event to formally show it off, which they streamed stuff from it.
Quite a setup.
It's a very nice setup. I'm confused about one thing from a few photos. I'm not sure if it was a promotional giveaway or if it's the actual cards, but they're apparently lar- larger than the actual English and Japanese cards. So that
Oh,
because
yeah,
some
the proportions are kind of wonky.
I think on the actual cards the proportions are the same. I mean they're physically larger, like 110, 115% of the size of the cards from U.S. and Japan.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure if those are like the actual cards or if they gave like away promotional items from here. I just saw that someone had put up images who had in China who had the Japanese card game, and they put them next to it, and it was like, oh, nothing will actually work that exists already. Like if you have accessories from the
Maybe
US
it
or
was
Japan,
done
they
on
won't work.
purpose.
Maybe. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
I hope you're allowed to pose between the frame and the art so you can have a picture of yourself getting fireballed by Agumon.
I feel like that had to have been the point because I don't know why you would do that setup if not.
I mean, it looks cool either way, but
No, I know, but with all the
that seems
space
like
there, I mean, that's like a
like
photo booth thing. That
that's what
has to be.
anybody would want to do with
Yeah.
a setup like that.
But yeah, so that's neat. And they did a short little promo film, which was interesting. It's not my thing, but a lot of people liked it. And then we have the other promo films, which were the we've liked to not so friendly mock the English video production for the card game. These are at least all produced properly. We'll at least say that there's not the actual production like there's no like they're
they
made
certainly
properly.
tried.
So the first one is a how to play video where they've made a rule song and that's fun.
It's such an Animu rule song too.
It desperately wants it desperately wants to make you think of Kingdom Hearts.
It's so bad.
To be fair, it started off more worse because when I first watched it and the first voice popped off and it was just talking, I'm like, oh no, is it not actually like a song? It's just someone narrating, and then after that there's actual like not good lyrics, but fine. That's at least a try.
The lyrics are the rules to the game.
Kill it with fire.
I watched it earlier in the day. They watched it literally 1 minute before we went live, and
yeah, it's interesting. It's the rules of the game. It's interspersed with a chorus. It's like it's the usual anime fight as hard as you can.
So the fun thing is they both are listening to it where I can't hear the audio, but I can hear them, and it's just like it's like in the horror movie when someone down the hall hears someone like groaning and freaking out. It's like, man, you guys okay?
The answer is no.
And then they did 2 more promo videos under the theme of
honestly about the song. I think it would have almost been worth it to have us react to it live, even if we can't put the audio on, and we wouldn't want to do that for our listeners. Possibly. They didn't sign up for that.
Yeah. Then the wanna play promos. So the first one is a guy's flying to the US from Japan. He goes up to the gate, he's being asked, what's your reason for staying here? Where are you staying? And the guy doesn't speak English that well, and the gate attendant's like, hotel. And the guy goes, oh, hotel. He goes to pull something out of his bag, and a Metal Greymon card pops out. The guy's like, Metal Greymon, I love Digimon. Let's play right now. And he pulls out his deck, and they start playing. And it's like, oh, you could play whenever. And then the camera ends on like a panning shot, but where you just see the crowd. And the crowd is not people like watching the game. It's just like a shot of the line at the gates. It's like, oh man, they're holding up people.
That's at least accurate.
Yeah. And the second one is a business meeting. They're doing business, and the boss says everything needs to be done by 7 p.m. That it needs to be done. It's important. And one of the underlings is texting him saying, the thing's at 5. And the boss is like, okay, maybe next month, just to get it done whenever. We're done here. And then he starts laying out his cards, and the underling comes back, and they're playing the card game in the office while standing up at the table. It's very strange, and the thumbnail bothers me because it doesn't look like Pattinson.
A little bit.
It feels like someone went. It feels like someone went. We want him to look like Bruce Wayne from the new movie.
All I could think of is like from the Lego movie of Princess Unikitty going business, 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 business.
That was That's basically the speeches.
Yes.
It wants to sound like business, but it doesn't come across as anything coherent.
I was going to say the thumbnail for the top one looks like Terry Crews from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh God.
See, that doesn't look like Terry Crews to me.
It doesn't look like Terry Crews, but just the not.
Oh,
quite,
you mean like the laughing
the
type thing?
Expression, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is a Terry Crews expression. Yeah. That wide, like gleeful laugh. Yes,
I know he doesn't look like exactly like Terry Crews.
But so here's the thing. We don't like these I don't believe they're good, but there were no actual production issues, which, all joking aside, is a step up from almost everything they've done in the past.
The only
Because here's the
production
thing.
issue is the overall message. The Digimon card game is worth losing your job.
So here's the thing. Last night I wasn't doing anything, so I was relaxing and, Twitter scrolling past while I'm watching a video. And on Twitter, I see people are getting upset about something with the card game. I guess they were streaming like the championship of some of like official event, and I guess the video quality was so bad people couldn't figure out the cards or something like that,
Oh, okay.
which
Okay.
continues the
Not
theme
surprised.
of, oh well. Then we had 2 episodes of Card Battle. These were pretty much standard matches, more or less. But there was a surprise at the end of 70. Go ahead and flip to that. There was a special guest. It's Shakuamon, looking thinner than in his card from a few
This looks like
booster sets ago.
Katamari Damacy right there.
He's clearly lost some weight since booster set 8.
He's no, that's just straight up Katamari Damacy right there.
Yes.
So here's the thing.
Shakuamon.
I keep looking at it and going, what did they actually turn into this? Because normally we can tell, and it's some sort of like barrel thing with like handles or something.
They just
Maybe
used
like
they just reused the
portable
keg
cooler?
that they
But here's the best part. Look carefully. They've put wings on his back.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, no, they just tapped the keg, and when it was empty from their planning meeting, they repurposed the costume.
Look, this card was very important for one reason. 2 minutes before the stream started, I realized, oh, because it's been 2 weeks, I didn't look at that episode. I didn't go back and look at the episode as carefully as I normally would have, and that card did not exist 2 minutes before we went live. It was very important to show off Shakuamon. And then, oh man, it was so exciting when last week we got a new Digimon Survive trailer, or so Bandai and every game site said, and it's literally the same trailer, although because we finally got a proper English version now, like one or two clips is slightly different.
I mean, it also doesn't say coming out in 2019. So any Survive video that doesn't say coming out in 2019 is new to me.
Yeah, but
it's not even a good one from Digimon Con.
And the funny part is, I'm pretty sure, like, since this trailer, I think they've announced like 2 relatively high-end strategy RPGs. The game was gonna come out during like a lack of SRPGs coming out, and now it's coming out when there's 1,000 like really good ones.
A lot of them. One of them popped up. I just got an email for a Steam sale on one of them.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. Well, at least there isn't a glut of visual novels out there.
I mean, yes, there is. Jesus fucking Christ. God, gonna fucking drown in. I'm pretty sure a sale started on Steam today for visual novels. God, gonna fucking drown.
There are always 1,000 visual novels on sale on Steam.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the major publishers though, like the actual quote unquote, like I think it's D3 Publishing and their games from Key, I think. So like the ones that people tend to actually want.
I don't know what major visual novel publishers, because anyone can put together a visual novel, and anyone can put together a good visual novel.
I believe Key is Air and all those, the ones that people actually like really flip out for.
Ah, okay.
So it's like a top tier one, I believe. See, I'm pulling up
Steam right now. Not at all.
Yeah. Oh, Key and Sakai Project.
Oh yeah, Sakai Project. I'm familiar with.
So it's literally just a stack of what would generally be considered good ones. You can't see me making air quotes. Although there actually are good ones here, since there's so many visual novels.
Oh yeah, Key and Sakai Project publisher sale.
Yeah. It's hard. I can't do it without the air quotes because there's so many visual novels on this fucking page. There's no possible way even the majority of these are good. Like, it's literally like 20 or 30 on the page, even if you don't look at more. So yeah,
God damn.
and then moving on from that, they did
Oh
a
boy.
they did a Digimon profile featuring Digimon in the crack team.
I
Okay.
kind of like this one.
Yeah.
I like the art, which appears to be a reference to the moving Gundam, because multiple people point out that the I can't remember the name for the metal things.
Scaffold?
Yeah, the scaffolds appear to be like silhouettes of the ones from the fully moving Gundam. So we get that. Agumon Hakase does his introduction. It's always interesting to see the Digimon they go over and the explanations. And also Agumon Hakase teasing with stuff that invariably goes nowhere.
Yep.
And let's all clap. Today is the 1 year anniversary of Digimon Profile. It means that once
It's
it's
I
it's
like
not
these
it's not
things. They don't
I
offer
I
a whole ton, but it gives us some art and
oh
stuff to talk
no,
about.
I'm not making a joke. I'm saying that they've actually done them consistently, and I'm not saying they're all interesting, but they've all been neat to look at, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of weird how some of them feel like there's a because like okay, you go over
Some of
Digimon.
them are more cohesive than others.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of
Put
like
it that
okay,
way.
so Digimon in the crack team. They go over the Digimon very cohesively, but doesn't really give us anything about the group. It's just sort of, hey, it's that group that
Yeah, these are the
but
Digimon in the crack
yeah,
team.
because there's nothing about the crack team that's ever really been
Yeah,
said enough to detail. So they just sort of
the
go,
crack team does something.
yeah. And then because it's been that year, the current poll is which Digimon profile is your favorite, basically.
I didn't realize there were so many already.
Well, remember the first one was like 5 at the same time,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and then it's one roughly every 2 weeks. I say roughly because every once in a while they do them at a weird time. Like they're generally Tuesday night, I believe, for us. But one day did like in the middle of when we were doing an episode on Monday.
Yeah, there was one that like didn't quite make it to like was right before the podcast.
Yeah, it was very strange, but yeah. So
Yeah, you didn't want to try and like machine translate it that fast. I just don't remember which one
Yeah,
it was though.
it's the X antibody one, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think it was that. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to decide. I don't even know if I would vote for this one because I. It's one of those things where you kind of need to reread them to have it detailed, or you just end up judging based on the
Yeah, I'm not.
art.
I went based off of which group I find the most fun. So
The
I think I
best,
went with the. I actually went with the four. I went with the four gods because I'm on a Digimon I'm on a Re-Rise kick right now.
the best art is clearly Agumon Hakase with the Mechanorimon, where he's just like
I
walking all
mean,
happy. That is the best one. There's no choice in the matter.
fair enough.
And then we got the poll for results for who was your favorite guest Digimon from the first 12 episodes. And congratulations to, with 28% of the vote, Sister Mon Noir.
Sister Mon Noir kicking ass per
Hell
week.
yeah.
Now you get the setup for that joke earlier.
I not only did I get the setup, I knew you were gonna say it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sister Mon
Like I
Seal
almost said
wins
it
with
with you.
28%.
That's a lot. Like I
To be
voted for her, but
okay,
I didn't think she was
so
going to
I
win.
say this to be very fair. Who else was actually from an interesting episode?
It's not so much an interesting episode. I just figured it'd be they just vote for their favorite Digimon among
But
the
see,
group. So
I think the episode itself, regardless of if it was good or bad in the end, I think that episode has a lot of issues. It's very fun to watch, and she does a lot of neat shit, which I think
I mean,
makes her
and people
memorable.
must yeah, and people must be going off episodes of Clockmon got second place.
That's kind of what I mean. Like you would like looking at this going off episodes outside of Sistermon and Mummymon. I don't know who would actually win.
Yeah, like I figured like Pumpmon or Mummymon would be favorites just because they're more popular
See,
Digimon in general.
I think the Pumpmon episode is so unmemorable overall, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say this
Which
is a time.
having said that, I'm surprised Repamon got up there because I mean it was it was kind of a cool episode, but I'm glad people have I'm glad people have some culture too.
I think Repamon got in
Scream at
because
own ass.
a few shots of the animation in the fight were interesting, and I think that makes it memorable for a lot of people.
Okay,
Because
whatever works for me.
think about Majiramon. What did Majiramon actually do?
Oh yeah, no, he didn't do any. That was all Jellymon that episode.
Majiramon was a tool to have Jellymon do stuff.
Yep.
Majiramon barely existed in the episode functionally. And then we have a bunch of stuff from the various Saturday posts, which have also been spread throughout the episode. So first off, Terriermon continues his journey, and Gabumon also got to see the cherry blossoms also.
I wish that were me.
The Gabumon with the eyes closed looks great. Then
He's having such a good time.
Then the one I'm tired of hearing about, to a degree, the Digivice bag.
And it's all my fault.
No, you're not the only person.
Okay, my fault and Vonde.
There you go. I like how you knew who it was, even though we haven't discussed it.
The Church of the Bag from China is spreading.
So it's
but actually, it's still technically my fault because.
No, she didn't say anything to me until I posted it, so it doesn't count as your fault.
Oh, okay.
It would have counted as your fault if she had said something before I had actually made the post. She waited. She's patient. So it's a satchel bag shaped like the Digivice. Has Digimoji on the strap, big window on the back, a small window on the front. It comes with cards that you can slide into the window to theme it, which is neat. Zipper tags of the crest and tags. Those look really fucking nice, I have to say. Like,
yeah. I know, they're really surprisingly good.
It's why I keep trying to use different translators on the text to figure out, does this actually come with all 8, or do you buy it and pick one?
Yeah, that's the question I was.
As far as I can tell, the text does say it includes all 8. The problem is
kind of incredible.
Yeah, going over various machine translators with Chinese, though, it is less accurate than Japanese. But as far as I can tell, that is what it appears to be. Because
that would be my guess.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to pop out anything to suggest it only comes with one. So we will see, and then see what the price ends up being and how easy they are to import, because a lot of people really fucking want this. And it actually does look pretty nice, so I understand why. Yeah, so we will see what the price on this ends up being, and if it's somewhat reasonable to import. I know Dev just really desperately fucking wants.
Dev doesn't care whether it's reasonable or not.
Cool.
I know, and I know because
I like having a matching bag to carry around my medical supplies so I don't die.
And then, speaking of figures from China, more photos of the giant Agumon.
I really like it. It's really
I was gonna say, if this popped up at Big Bad Toy Store and the price was reasonable-ish, because the price in China will be a bit under $80. I would almost be tempted. I'm not saying I would. I'd be tempted. The main issue I have is the same reason I never got one of the giant Ninja Turtles they released a few years ago. I don't know what the fuck I would do with it. It would just stand in a corner, and then I'd walk out at night and go, "Oh, what the fuck's that? Oh, wait." Because they had 4-foot tall Ninja Turtle figures a few years ago, and I kept going, "Oh, I could get one of those." It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do with it?
I saw what some other people did with them.
My personal favorite was someone would hide it around their house to annoy her husband.
That is fantastic.
So it was like Raphael. So it'd be so if she got up before him, she'd put it in the shower.
Oh, jeez.
Or she'd hide it in the closet, and then she would like she'd be standing outside there with her phone set to record audio, and you'd hear him mumbling to himself, wake up, and then screaming, and it was good. Yeah. And moving on
That
from
include does that figure include the size? Because I figure you could probably do something fun with the way the sides are
I
positioned.
I don't know. We will it is one of those, I'm kind of glad it didn't go up, assuming it does come out in the US. I'm glad it didn't go up at Big Bad Toy Store at the time of the Taichi and Hikari figures, because I probably got, oh shit, I'm getting this. I'm pre-ordering the other two anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Getting excited that the stuff exists and go, okay, it's not expensive, I'm going to get it. With the Agumon, I'll have more and more time to think about it. Because
Try and talk yourself down.
here's the thing, we found out about the figures roughly Saturday, the smaller ones, and then by like Tuesday or Wednesday they were up to pre-order in the US. That's not a lot of time for something you never expected to get, realistically. I'm having time to think about the Agumon. It's in my head that he might come out. I will talk myself out of the unreasonable purchase.
Like, you'll just have to get like a new apartment.
Exactly.
Store all
And
these
then
things.
it's the 15th anniversary of the Digimon twins. I don't think this art's new, is it? I feel like I've seen this art before.
It does look familiar.
Something about that Zeed Garurumon especially reminds me of something. So I don't know.
I think I don't recognize the art, but I think it's just similar because there's only
Okay.
so much art of Zeed Gurumon because it's kind of, you can't pose it too many ways.
True. Yeah, so it's probably new and just looks kind of similar. And they also put up photos of the various twins. God, in retrospect, those really do look ugly.
The black and silver ones look really cool in person. However, that's one of the V-Pets that shits non-stop. Like every 5 minutes, it's crying to clean up its fecal matter. Like,
Yeah,
come on!
but man, I forgot just how like blocky those actually look. They're little bricks. And then
They are.
it's the 10th anniversary of the end of Hunters. So they did new social art of Tagaru and Gumchmon, and it looks amazing. Like,
That's
holy shit.
great art. I
Look,
joke about it, but it's
no,
beautiful to see them.
it's fantastic, and it's
The art is more than the actual series deserves.
nah.
That's fair. No,
Hunters is
that's
weird.
fair.
Hunters is weird. It's not good, but I still kind of like it.
It's
I like the characters and the designs, but kind of fucking sucked.
Oh, I don't even like the designs, but it's sort of it's a crap series that you kind of cheer for anyway because it's so different.
It's always nice to sometimes be able to talk about Emmy Award nominated Digimon Hunters. And then moving on to questions, you guys in the chat can start throwing yours up as we go with the ones that were sent. Someone wants to know what frontier. Does it feel like we've gotten a variation of this question before? What frontier stuff do you want to see this year, or did it just like?
I think it was like what do we expect to see?
Okay,
Yeah, I think that was just
so what do
stuff
we
that we
actually
wanna see.
want?
I want that D-scanner.
I want hats.
Oh, that's a good one. That's such a good one.
And they're pretty simple to make. And
It
it's just
feels
like,
like
it's a nice
it feels like this would be the time to do like a really badass like Susanumon gem figure. Just like something you look at and you go, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a great call. Is hats because all the characters except for Junpei I think have hats.
Oh man, so you mean Dev's gonna
Well,
have to get
OG
someone?
has a bandana.
Dev's gonna have to try to get people to vote on Digimon partners, and then the hat will win by 150 votes, and then she will have issues buying it
And then after
because
they
Digimon partner.
disqualify all of them for photo stuffing, it'll be 75.
Yeah. But
Yep.
there's a lot of interesting stuff that we should get. That we already know there are dim cards coming out isn't a bad start, though, even though that's not really a big thing for any of us. I think that's a good start that prior to stuff going, they've already told us we're getting those. So
I would also want one of the little gem figures of Flamon.
Ooh. Flamon stuff would be nice.
So yeah, I guess you would do you could do like a gem of him like running side by side with Takuya or something.
It would be cute.
Yeah.
Sort of like the 2022 Yamato and Gabumon.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Sora wants to know, do we think Frontier would be good if they reanimated the show with a better story?
It
I mean,
wouldn't be Frontier.
yeah, I mean, at that point, if you're reanimating the show, you're redoing the story. It's anything can be good or bad. Like any story, whether the story's good or bad, you can make good or bad.
It would. I mean, if you reanimate, if you said, okay, we're gonna do Frontier over again, that just feels disrespectful to the original. Like, I know we don't. I know, like, Frontier. I don't think Frontier is very good, but it has a lot of fans, and
Good
it just feels like
to be
we're gonna
fair,
single.
to be
We're
fair,
gonna
to be
single this one
fair,
out and do this one
to
over
be fair,
again.
what
That
doesn't have
feels
a lot of
wrong.
fans nowadays, though?
That's true,
Like
but
like I've seen
you know what I'm.
I've seen people try to defend Pluto Nash.
But you know what I'm saying, don't
No,
you?
no, I know what you're saying, but I mean, especially in say Digimon, is there anything that you do not get 100 people on Twitter any given month going, oh no, it's misunderstood, it's underrated, it's actually great. Anything Digimon that
Sure.
comes up, that's we're just
It
at
does,
that
but
point.
that's what I mean. Like, if you singled out Frontier and said, you know what, this one sucked, we're gonna do it over again, it doesn't feel right. What I think a better answer would be, I would love to see them trying the concept again. Like, we're gonna try the Spirit Evolution
They are trying it again.
a little bit differently. Yeah. Yeah, and just, kind of, we're gonna play with this
We're
concept a little bit further and use it in a different way.
They are
That
doing that. We're all gonna have to listen to advertising for the live action Saint Seiya movie, which is out this year.
Oh
right,
no.
but
No,
yeah, it's like, if
I get
if they
what
could do
I get
some
what
of
you
the.
mean.
Yeah,
But functionally, anything that you can track back to Saint Seiya functionally fails in the U.S.
yeah, but
Now,
I guess I would love to see them. I would love to see the Spirit Evolution concept used successfully. That would be awesome to see. I don't want them to remake Frontier, though.
yeah, I think you have to just do something
You have
new
to make
with
a
it
new,
if you're gonna
just
do
make a
it.
new season. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Frontier itself, it's done. And here's the thing: it is one of the more successful things in the franchise, regardless of anything else, including the early death of the franchise. Like here's the thing: I believe was it last year, which was a big anniversary year for Savers. It was last year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And in fact, we're at the tail end of it now, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the fifth. I think it's the 15th anniversary. Does that sound right to you?
I can't do
Yeah,
math.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay. So 15th anniversary of Digimon Savers. What did Digimon Savers get? There's been some little things, but realistically, it got jack shit. And if you're a Savers fan, that's not a good thing. And it's very easy to point out why, and that's because Tamer's anniversary, Tamers will do more.
Yep.
Yeah, Tamer's got the
But here's the
bulk
thing:
of the attention
they
for
could
sure.
have found a way to do something more than what they did. And Frontier, it looks like they're planning to do stuff with, or they're at least
Yeah.
Yeah,
hinting
'cause
they
they already
are.
have like dim cards coming out,
Yeah.
so
So it's the type of thing where Frontier, at least, and one reason why I think, regardless of popularity, why Frontier is easier to do this with than Savers, Frontier has an interesting gimmick thing that makes it unique.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, Digisoul from Savers, but that isn't necessarily like
No, that's not a.
but that's what I mean.
That's
It Savers is functionally more adventure, more tamers.
Yeah.
With
Which
Frontier,
I like,
no argument there. But I'm saying in the sense
yeah,
of what are you going
it's
to
not
do with
different.
it?
No.
Frontier, you can have some fun with the idea. You could do something with Cross Wars if you wanted to with the mecha stuff, but realistically, there's other stuff to do. And of course, I'm saying that right as we're about to get a bunch of Cross Wars shit in the card game, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo.
Yeah. So Frontier, more Frontier, no. Something of that theme of kids turn into Digimon, sure, why not? I I think the final, and obviously there's always a chance for random stuff. I think the audio drama as a victory lap was what we wanted from it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
we're good with
it was a
that.
victory lap. It let us see the characters again, and then it said goodbye, and then
And randomly threw in
pump
Pokemon and
yeah,
Gachimon just for the hell of
yeah,
it.
exactly. And that's what you want that to be. You want it to be the thumbs up, and yeah.
Yep.
And then someone wants to know, if you ignore Atmon since it's an easy guess, what do we want Booster Set 11 to be about?
That's the only answer for me.
I like how the person knew what we were going to say, because realistically,
It's the only answer! I don't know what else you could do. I mean, I don't know what else you could theme it around that hasn't been kind of touched on already, because they've done, I think, all of the seasons in some capacity. Yeah.
You could do a manga themed set. I mean, a lot of
That'd be
that's.
lit
mean-
by
I mean, a lot of that
point.
stuff has shown up, but I'm saying,
I mean, I guess it's
but
like,
I'm saying like,
how many?
I'm saying actually have like the manga artists do the card art and stuff, like a set
Yeah.
based around manga or other spin-offs in some
But
way.
it's like, I could easily see them throwing a
Yeah,
Katone
yes,
card
that could
into the
be in
cross.
BT10.
They can do
Yes.
that but they can do that in the cross
Yeah,
wars set, and I'm
yeah.
not sure. I'm not sure how excited I would be over like a next themed cards.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, I don't. Do I need a Tsurugi Tatsuno card? I guess it'd be nice, but it like don't theme a pack around it.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just trying to think of, because the person figured out what we were gonna answer with.
Oh yeah, they know us. They've clocked us. They've
Okay,
clocked
Digimon
us
friend.
good.
I'm trying to think. See, and that even goes back to like what we were saying just a minute ago. Like, I'm not sure I can imagine a Savers set, because Savers has already been
Like,
around.
They've done.
Yeah,
Savers cards,
that's
though.
what I mean though.
Like Savers has already gotten its.
See, we
cards,
say that, and they're gonna announce a theme for 11. We're gonna go, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Kurata Tamer card.
It's gonna be something.
we're gonna get the bio hybrids or something.
Okay. Are you ready for set 11? The Royal Knights for set 11.
Oh Jesus!
Because at some point, you know that's gonna be the theme, right? It's been the sub theme a few times.
Rear-Eyes characters, give them cards. There we go.
That's actually a good one.
Put them
There
to
you
death.
go.
And the first card that will be revealed will be Agumon. But even that, a lot of those have cards at this point.
The Digimon have, like, I could use some tamer cards.
Yeah.
For
I could use. Here's the problem. You say
give us a Mayu card, goddammit.
Here's the problem. We're gonna get that, and you know it's gonna just be the fucking profile shot from the game.
Well, of course it is, because they have no other art, but
Exactly.
it's something. It counts.
That's what it's gonna be, though, and we know it. I do not.
All of the kids have exactly one pose.
I don't know what that question is asking, to be honest. In the chat.
Oh.
Off the top of my head, I do not know what the 13 sins are.
Everything I ate during the convention this weekend.
Hey. How was your convention?
Dev.
Eh?
I think Dev missed
How was your convention?
The convention itself was nice. The hotel was horrible because one of my roommates snored horrifically, so I actually got like 0 sleep, and also the really crappy ventilation system gave me a sinus infection.
Ooh. Is that with earplugs?
I was not warned ahead of time that I would need them.
Always bring earplugs to a convention if you're rooming with anybody you don't normally live with.
It was bad.
Cardinal rule.
Yeah,
It was bad.
you have to always assume things are going to be bro- busted up,
Yeah.
basically.
I was like,
Um,
I didn't think anyone could possibly snore louder than my partner, but I was proven
But it's
wrong.
it's the thing is you get used to your partner's snore. This is
Not
a
really, because
stranger
they only
snore.
miss it occasionally,
It's
and then
gonna
we
be a
go to
it's
separate rooms.
okay. But it's like it's gonna be a different cadence. So like you're just not gonna get used to it.
It was like some Looney Tune shit going on. It was bad.
and
I
then
did see some nice Digimon cosplays.
Nice.
someone asked a question that I'm going to let AR and Dev try to answer because I'm guessing they can guess the answer. I was wondering if Mark can say how he ended up producing Digimon. Was it just that they knew he was a fan, or was there more? AR Dev, do you think it was just that I was a fan, or do you think there was more to it?
I assume that there was a decision made at Discotech that we're gonna put this out, and they, for some reason, trusted you to spearhead that.
It's like, hey, who do we know who is
No,
obsessed over detail
no,
quality?
it was it's closer to Dev's. It 100% was not just, oh, he likes Digimon and he's sitting right there. It was not that. I will go into more of it once Blu-ray is out. But no, it's not just, okay, the person in charge likes the show and that's it.
Yeah, no,
That does not happen.
no, that's not how it works.
That does not happen at a coherent company, especially one very well
Yeah,
known for doing stuff very carefully and well, like Discotech.
It's like, hey, he's already doing all of our social media and all the QC shit, and he is knowledgeable about the thing. Why don't we throw the thing at this guy
Not
first?
quite. I'll go into it once the set's out, because there'll be stuff to talk about when it's out. Um, so I guess the one question was just, do we want them to do a story about? I mean, they kind of already do stuff about biblical sins, though. Like,
they have the demon lords. Those are all
yeah,
based on the seven deadly sins.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
Yes, and they're
uh,
adorable, and I
I
want more
should say
stuff from
they're
them.
assigned to the seven deadly sins. I don't know how much
they
they're
yeah
based on
they
them.
kind of don't fucking.
They
Okay, okay,
feel a
okay.
lot of those feel
Um,
like okay. Some of them make sense. Like Belphemon makes sense,
they
but
they've
they
clarified
saw a lot of them seem very
they've
retrofit.
clarified their question a bit more. They're thinking like, okay, as the main partner, so like evil chosen children. I don't really find that interesting because it's just,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm not saying it couldn't be done. It's just it's always so stereotypically, it's gonna be dark, blah, and it just
yeah, that just seems a little too edgy for the sake of edgy.
it's
I think
And
yeah.
we already have Imp as a partner Digimon, and I think that works pretty well because he's
Look. If I want to
a
see,
little asshole.
that's
if I want to see that done poorly, I will finally watch a Zack Snyder DC Comics movie. I literally, at one point, I literally went, okay, I should watch these because, like, I like the characters. I should watch it, and I'll go in order. And Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out. It's like I've heard the first Wonder Woman's really good. I should watch them to at least get to that. I sat down. I put on Man of Steel. I saw the Warner logo came up. It was like all grayed and like desaturated, and I just hit stop and I went,
uh,
I'm done. I already know what I'm done. If the Warner
it,
logo's like gray and desaturated and it's dark music, this is not the Superman movie for me. I'm out. Like literally, I did watch Shazam though, which was completely
I was gonna
unrelated.
say hearing that makes me want to like just go back and watch Batman and Robin again. Or no, yeah.
I
Oh
watched
no,
Yeah, Batman and
Batman
Robin.
Forever. Batman Forever. I was
just
gonna
the
say
other week.
the third one, the third one.
I found out a friend had never seen any Adam West Batman,
Oh,
so I
How
pulled
the
up
hell does that happen?
so I pulled up the movie and watched it with them.
that would be an amazing like an all nighter is just to do random Batman movies slash TV episodes just sporadically across the decades. Like you
We
watch
did a
some super
similar one where a friend had never seen
grimdark one,
Ghostbusters.
immediately followed by an Adam West episode, immediately followed by one of the Tim Burton ones.
The most interesting reaction they had to the movie, honestly, was almost getting upset at all the labels. Because everything in Adam West Batman is labeled. There's signs and labels for everything.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
like when they reach for something, they don't just reach for it, they reach for it on a counter, and there'll be a sign right above saying what it is, even if they just said it.
That's how they know what it is.
I know. They were like getting like visibly confused and upset as to why there were so many signs.
I
Because fuck
remember
Kevin
I for some reason back when I watched that, like when I was a kid, that made perfect sense to me why
It
that would
did.
be labeled like that.
And the fun part is, and a lot of people don't know this, they came back a few years ago and did more.
More labels.
No, they did 2 animated films with Adam West and Burt Ward.
Aw.
And they're so much fun to watch. Like they do a Two-Face story who was never in the show. They cast an actor of the era who you would actually maybe expect to have shown up as Two-Face on the show.
Oh, I need to see that.
William Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Or like Julie
Perfect.
Newmar's in it as Catwoman. At one point,
Ooh.
at one point, Batman gets hit in the head, and she splits into 3 people in his vision. And it's Julie Newmar,
Please.
Eartha Kitt,
Yeah,
and I can't remember the third name.
I don't remember who the third one
I
was.
know this.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, but
and
yeah,
the harder you try and think about it, the
yeah,
more
exactly.
it like
But yeah,
clutters away from
but
you.
yeah, where they actually get the they do the double vision, but they do triple. They actually have the designs be all 3 of them. Or
I
like
love it when they do that.
or the design for the Joker. You can see mock hairs under his
They
nose.
actually put Romero's mustache in
Yes, they put his mustache there. Like they really made everything accurate to the show, so it really worked. So they did 2 of those movies. You know, they made sure the voices matched as close as they could for anyone who wasn't around anymore. And they're great watches if you ever watched that as a kid.
But yeah, that sounds like just a complete remix and that's a perfect overnight for you. It's just a Batman remix of everything. Also, you are required to show the Star Kid Batman musical as well in that.
Second, I'm pulling this. Yeah, let's see here. I can't find a good image of it. I was gonna try to find the Cesar Romero one, but yes, they actually do the hair. It's amusing.
I believe you.
I know they put in so much effort to it. And then the last prepared question. So last chance in the chat for you guys to throw any up. Ramon tossed one up. Will we watch Moon Knight on Wednesday? The answer is maybe. Depends on if I'm jumping back into work by then, because Wednesday I take some time off and watch Picard and enjoy that. The last episode, I have never seen Star Trek fans argue more about anything in my life, and that's saying something. Like, even for me, seeing the argument and being part of it was crazy. Because time travel is always fun to discuss.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It involves characters meeting for the first time who already met, and the staff is giving explanations to it, but staff members are giving different explanations. As in, the staff is not on the same page as to what's going on there.
Everyone's just making shit up.
It feels like the worst way to have fandom it's like the thing to stir up fandom discourse in any capacity is to add time.
Yeah, and it gets more confusing because they add in an actor playing a character he played in Star Trek IV, the one that everyone remembers with the whales. And they do a sequel to a famous Star Trek scene, but it's like, you can't do a sequel to it because the original one wouldn't have happened based on the rules you've set. So now everyone's arguing about, well, maybe something different happened, and then it's just, okay, I'm done. Because the problem is when you get into that argument with time travel, there's no discussion anymore. It's just everyone going, this couldn't have
It doesn't make
happened, and someone else going,
sense
oh,
totally
well,
in my brain.
something identical happened. We just don't know what. It's like, okay,
I'm
it's not
I'm
fun.
I'm just currently shuddering at the mental thought of how bad the discourse would be if YouTube had been a thing when the second and third Back to the Future movies came out. It
See,
just breaks my
see, the
brain.
time travel doesn't bother me in those because even though they are broken, they feel internally consistent.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're fine because they're Back to the Future
yeah.
movies, but fanboys would argue about it
Oh, they
anyway.
absolutely would. The reason why even I jumped into this more than I normally do is it doesn't feel consistent and it feels more like having your cake and eating it too, at least to me. I basically jumped into it because if the argument is, okay, nothing of that happened, then you can't do references to have
This
fun.
is this is why I'm kind of glad the young hunters didn't actually leap through time in Digimon.
Oh yeah, that would have been shit. That would have been
God,
fucking
that would have been
horrible.
awful.
I know at some point Boruto did that, and I have not been involved in that at all. I have no idea what happened, minus that time travel was involved. So it's one of those times where I'm very like, good, I watched the movie and that was it. I'm not involved. I don't know. I don't need to know.
Get to the final prepared question,
Yeah.
please.
Final question was someone wanted to know. It feels like there have been lots of entertainment announcement recently, new stuff, trailers for movies, blah blah blah. What's been announced or updated recently that you're looking forward to? I only have one fucking answer, and it feels like this question's a cheat. It feels like someone asked it because they wanted me to talk about one specific thing. So you guys get to go first, because I think this question's a joke.
I'm still shocked at how much money I'm gonna spend based on the Switch Direct last night or last month. Like, there's way too much stuff in there I want to spend money on, and I'm concerned.
I haven't started Kirby yet. I have Kirby though.
Kirby's one of the ones that I think my kid is going to pressure me into buying, and he's not
I
old enough to
held
play
off
that
on
game.
Smart
Kirby
kid.
just because convention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
So
never actually played a Kirby game like seriously either.
it looks so
They're
good.
very enjoyable.
Yeah. Okay,
I feel like it. Yeah.
so for AR, it's lots of Switch stuff. Dev,
Yeah.
what is it for you?
Also Switch stuff, but I have willpower, kind of.
Yeah, and mine is the Cowabunga collection. Oh, I fucking want that like no one's fucking business. I'm not even
We know
joking.
you're serious.
I'm not even fucking joking when I've said I've
Oh, I
already
believe you.
I've already mapped out getting at least 3 copies of it. It is the game tailored exactly for me. It's more than I would have asked for. If I had asked for anything, I would have just said, at least give us the 2 arcade games easy and don't fuck with them. Invariably, they fuck with those games anytime they come out.
I swear my neighbor got through the damn stage while I watched. I swear that happened in my life.
Oh, you're talking the first. So the swimming stage actually isn't that hard to get through. It's just no one thinks about what to do. Everyone tries to be very careful when swimming, and if you do that, you can't go fast enough to actually get through it. You have to take damage, and what you do is right before you die, you swap turtles. Because you can swap them freely, and as long as they don't die, you can recharge their life later. So you just rush through trying to take as few hits as possible, and anytime you get to 1 or 2 hits left, you switch a turtle. And as long as you still have like 3 turtles at that point, it's reasonably not that hard. It's that
Did we
everyone,
just
yeah,
did we
it's that
just solve a decades-old like
I
textbook
I
example of Nintendo hard on a Digimon podcast?
I don't think I'm the first person who's pointed that out. To be fair,
Okay.
it's just one of those things where everyone thinks of it as, okay, I need to be super careful. You don't actually have the time to do that. So if you're not going at a decent pace, you don't have the time, so it seems like it's impossible. But then you rush through and you'll take hits and die. You just have to swap turtles. Yeah,
Well, there you go, folks.
I'm looking forward to everything on that thing. That said, every 8 and 16-bit game from every system, minus some PC ports and one PC original game, and you can swap to the Japanese versions. for the games that had them.
Wow.
There's very little relevance to that, except in the fighting game, one character has less clothing. Is the main relevance to that to anyone?
I'm trying to guess who that is. And I'm
It's
scared to do that on the
no,
air.
it's not a character you would know.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's someone from the comics original to the game. It's someone that I don't believe you could possibly have any idea who they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm getting that at least 3 times. The Switch physically, because I want it on the Switch and I want the little game card. On some system digitally for 4K, and then on the PC on Steam so it never vanishes ever again. Those games always get like really stupid distribution. I want them to be there forever. And I think that is it. Yeah. I can't decide if that's a real question, if that was like tailored to get me to talk about that, because it is a real question. It just feels like too easy. You know what I mean?
I mean, as soon as it was announced, I knew it would come up on the podcast somehow.
To be fair, I think it was announced before the last episode, and I don't think I talked
Oh,
about
it
it.
doesn't matter. It's gonna come up somewhere.
Oh, it would have
It
come up
doesn't
when I
have to
got
be
it.
timely.
Yeah. AR, what have you been up to the last few weeks, and what will you be up to?
I've been continuing my live tweeting of Re-Arise as I blaze through it before its demise in a month. Still on pace. Finished chapter 15 last night. The final villain has finally been revealed, even though anyone's brain could have figured out who it was going to be. It's weird because I wanna support it. I wanna, like, this is a really cool story for a mobile game. At the same time, it still opens itself up to a lot of snark. But anyway, you can find that on my Twitter, First Agent ARP.
Yeah. So, at this, ignoring that you're not at the ending yet, what would you rate the game, both in story and overall, including gameplay and that shit?
Oh, including gameplay, it's whatever. Like, it's nothing. It's not that special. The gameplay is like, it's a typical gotcha game. Like, I'd
Yeah.
probably give that, a C, whatever. This story, if you take the story within itself, it is a solid B minus Digimon
Good.
story.
Now,
Like, I'd honestly say the story and the characters are better than, like, Cross Wars.
okay. Now, honest question, because I dropped out of Rear Eyes very quickly, and I've seen arguments about this. At what point in the story did you go, ignoring that you know it's ending? At what point in the story do you go, okay, it's the journey to the end? Like, it's got to be when
That would be
everyone starts getting ultimates, isn't it?
Oh, they actually got Ultimates pretty early on in season 2.
Well, that's what I
I
mean.
would
Does
say that
season 2 seem like they're going, okay, season 2's it, is what I mean.
mm,
Or not really?
not necessarily.
Okay.
I think it's I feel like once I get I feel like once I get through the end of season 2, it'll feel like, yeah, they could go for another season if they really wanted to. Cuz season 1 even ended pretty conclusively. I don't want to spoil what happens, but you could have ended it at season 1 if you wanted to.
I really like that you're
Season
doing that,
2,
even though we should probably comment, don't jump back to very old episodes, because I'm pretty sure we discussed what happened in it.
oh,
Like,
well,
going back
I
2
don't know
years or
if
something.
people are yeah, but if people are trying to explore the story for the
Yeah.
first time, I think season 1 is best experienced without spoilers. Season 2, I don't think it
So
matters so
so
much
so
because if you can't
basically,
figure out who the final villain
so
is.
basically, if you really want to know without seeing a video or anything, you want to experience it yourself, you better get gotching.
Yeah, get gotching. I'd find a video,
Too
honestly.
late at this
Probably
point,
the
you
better
think,
way to do
to
it.
enjoy it?
Yeah, it's you wouldn't you
You kind
wouldn't
of have to
enjoy trying
rush.
to blaze through 2 seasons. Also, you'd have to get a bunch of stamina
Yeah.
drinks to even have
Ooh.
the, you
Okay.
know, I
Okay,
mean,
that
even
makes
to
sense.
have the currency to get all the way through the game in one go.
Okay, so too late then. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah, you
makes
don't want to
sense.
start it.
Okay. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Aramon, because it is the color of things that are coming out of my skull.
Alrighty. and I can be found with the will as always. We do not know when we'll be back. We're kind of in the situation of there's not a weekly show to go over, so we're kind of just waiting to see when there's enough news. So we will catch you at some point in the next few weeks. Who knows? Thanks everyone for showing up. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.